Welcome to the Ponderous Brick Thinker. This is a sketch episode continuing developing this idea. In previous installments, there have been simpler versions of this, and now we have this more complex detailed design. I completed the remaining columns and windows and interior columns. In so doing, I realized I was kind of running out of slope bricks. I have enough for this design, but I created this one to kind of see how this idea looks in a plain wall setting. And yeah, I ran out of the three long double wide reverse slope bricks. And so if I were going to have my final design or build, I wouldn't have any more of those bricks. And so I was just kind of playing around with it and see, I guess for this installment, I will be reducing the number of bricks in this design to be a more simplified version, but still kind of have some of the, excitement, all of the shadow play going on, and kind of see what I can do with this without making it too ornate, but still simple. And the reason being is that everyone's brick count is going to be different, and everyone's going to be limited, and not every part of the castle or final build has to be this ornate or detailed. And that's what I want to kind of play with, is that in certain parts of the building, it might be suited for this. It might be the important part of the castle, and this is where you want the attention to be. And you can find several examples in Western architecture where the front facade is where all the eye-catching material is, all the different shapes and details are. And in the back of the building, you might have just a brick wall. And this is what I'm going to play with, is that all the important pieces are going to be up front. And then in the back, it might be more simple, just to balance to what I have on hand. Because again, not every part of the building has to be this intense. It can relax a bit and just have it there for structural reasons and still relate to the ornate and the simple. They can relate to each other. There we go. And so that's part of why I made this particular version. And that's why I'm going to kind of reduce the slope count on this. I still am going to keep part of it, but for particular reasons, I'm going to take out these because these are more ornamental. I might need them more for structural, as I have used them here and there. But again, with ornamental, they don't need to be there for structural reasons. The building will still stand once I remove them, as shown here. And let's see, let me give myself, I forgot where I put my phone, but I'll just keep an eye on the clock here. So 30 minutes, and then I'll see where I'm at with that. Okay, let's see. So some of the obvious one would be, let's see how it looks with some curves there. And the reason why I kind of hesitated to mix and match earlier the curves and the straight angles is that in some cases it's okay if one piece relates to the other. Let's see how this one looks. Then it fits. But if all of a sudden you only have this particular part, how does it fit? How does it look with everything else? Overall, it's okay because it kind of just transitions between the vertical to the horizontal, then to the vertical again. And then also in context, if I were going to build the entire building with this in mind, I will be also, aware of where I'm going to be using more curves, not necessarily in this particular detailed location, but also are they in the columns, also beams, other kinds of columns, Let's see, do I have a... And so since it is consistent, that's what it looks like. It kind of looks normal. Almost looks like a face. Let's see. Then I have these. Okay. Because in different colors, this will definitely pop out. Not quite tall enough to fit there. And so it can also be a wreath or other things. Oh yeah, I pulled this out. I think they're called claws. I'm not too sure. Maybe teeth. I guess to make it look more dangerous. I don't know. Not quite. I think if these were longer, it might have worked. But they're kind of too short for this particular design. Oh. Okay. We have this removal. Let's see what else I have. Oh. Okay, classic. Cover them up. And then I have the grates or grills. And I have these. So let me see if I can find another smooth plate to look at. Then I also want to see how they look with these. I think this one would be more, if this particular kind of brick was going to be used in other parts of the build, then it might relate. Right now it doesn't really fit with everything. It doesn't help with the flow. It's just there. At least these kind of point in some direction and beam it up. It's a little crown. Let's see. And so this would be the part where, yeah, it's very subjective, but play a part in how the overall build looks. Oh yeah, I have these kinds. Let's see about this. Now that fits because it's a straight angle. And you don't have to kind of look at it and say, does this make sense? Do I need to kind of, you know, justify that, oh, it's also used here, so that's okay. Here, it's like, it's meant to be there because it helps with the transition there. So I kind of like how that looks. And I saved myself a slope. It's nothing too drastic change. It's just, instead of this kind of downward angle from this brick, I can use these detail pieces. It's not as lower. Now you don't have to worry about these. It yeah, kind of like how that looks. And then I say myself to use this one for another part of the building. Now for this one, the upper one, let's see if I can find more of those detailed bricks. Oh, I have this kind. Is it the same slope? I think so. Okay, let's see. Okay, it follows this angle, so it does still thrust forward as it was this one. I guess I'm stuck on the idea of emerging from the wall. Let's see, let me reverse that and see how that looks. Kind of like this way. Now I really want to find another one of these. Let's see. I found this one. The other flat plate. And I just go to the bin where I have my slopes. There we go. Depending on what happens up there, it can work. If there's a motif of, let's say, a banner or the colors of the faction that controls the castle, it could be color banner right there, depending if I could find them in those, the slope in those colors. And it can be just proudly displayed there. That would be down here. More angles for shadows. I kind of like how this works more than the other ones. I think to push off the surface. Let's see how this looks. Kind of helps with the transition. See if I can find another one. Let's see. There. It almost works. I don't know if it's just because of the length. It's also 3 long. And so that it kind of blends itself to this length. That's okay for me. Now I wonder about the upper part. Nope. That can work because then it's, again, if there's a certain color or motif, this can blend itself with other parts of the castle that don't necessarily have this, let's say, combination of bricks that or follow this idea. But you can make a motif that carries throughout and doesn't require a lot of different kinds of bricks, and you have enough of them, then it kind of works. Let's see, I just have this circle right here. There we go. Yep. Then that is kind of cool. And then you can transition to something else that has curves or circles. not, but kind of like how that looks. Okay, so I guess I'm leaving them there, but just for different ideas on how to, for details for future reference. Let's see. Can I make this work this way? It doesn't make sense though. Yeah, it has no relation to this. Where did that piece go? Oh. Okay. I might have to look at this one. It does look like eyebrows. And depending on the color, it could be a face right there. Not quite. Let's see. I'll keep it here. And the part of the reason I'm focusing on here is that, yes, the columns support the structure and the columns separate the fenestrations. But now with this kind of line or this kind of build, they're making an announcement at the capitals of each of the columns. And so that, you know, for a castle, we probably display your colors there or your motif. And so that's why I'm kind of focusing on what can happen there. This one will have to rely on being a completely obviously seen color. It's very subtle. I don't know how it looks in the video, but in person, it's easily missed. But if you're making a statement, it would have to be very contrasting to what the capitals of the columns are in order for it to be seen or even noticed. Here we go. At least one of them. There we go. Yeah, it would depend on the color. And if I go like this. That can work too. It's very, it can be the transition between here. If I had more straight lines, I think that would work even better. Let's see if I have another one. How does this work? Hmm. There we go. I would say it would work if I didn't have as many slopes. I'll probably be considering this for another detailed work, especially where I had a more simple columns between the fenestrations. It helps with the transition between this depth and then this depth. Let's see. That's where those came from. I saw them fall, but I wasn't sure where they came. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Let's say that works. I would say this works more together than having interaction with this. I kind of like how that looks right here. Just this right here. Okay, we'll see how that looks, and then see how the teeth here, do they help with making it look interesting? There we go. Guess it can work. I'm not completely convinced. Let's see. Kind of needs something to cap it on, because they're emerging, or at least the claw parts are emerging from there. And then they go to this depth. Here, let me see with how it looks with that. And then I can put there. And again, it will be, you know, reliant on the color to be seen or even noticed. We have another flat plate here. And so the more kinds of bricks you use, of course, then you don't need as many of the standard bricks in their place. As you see, I replaced some of the slopes. I would probably need more practice to kind of replace the more essential parts and see what other bricks I can use to kind of get that general shape. But that's more or less idea of where I'm going with this. I don't see one. Except for this. That's all something I might use. it like that. Barely. And I need to wrap this one up so I can work on the other version. Let me see. Well, I don't have a banner or flag, but I do have those. How do I put them in here? Let's see, they're plates with a claw that attaches to this part here. Let's see if I have some elsewhere available. Okay. So that looks. And they can, I'm not even sure they have single white banners, but that could be someplace where you can hang some. I think that works. Just wondering if that will be a detail to use. It's not reference to anything, it's just how to make this top of the column look interesting. And then if you have a row of them, how will that look as well? Because it is different from everything else and therefore eye-catching even without being in a different color. I think I'll keep it like that because it just really is different from all the other ones. So even though the claws are not really seen or teeth, I think it'll be okay. It helps with the transition. Okay, then to this one, I just want to resolve what that is because it sticks out there. And this could be the exterior, this could be the interior, or vice versa. And just start putting their bricks. Let's see what we have here. I was thinking of putting them here, but I can't because those slopes are there. Oh, how about like this? Oh, and I can even put this here for future detail work. I was thinking of putting just a 4 wide single line or single width brick there, but I think I'll do that anyways. Or what I have here. Oh, even more for more detail. Yeah. It is very top heavy. It's like a, what is it? Eyebrow, forehead, helmet of the window. Have some shadow. It just has no relation to the bottom part. How about this? Okay, I'll try to make it look interesting. I still see kind of like a helmet. The column there doesn't detract from it. But what if I put something curvy on the helmet part? Where though? And so for the size of this column, it probably is not, I'm not thinking of it being for the overall structural load of the building, as with this one, where you kind of have a really strong base and it just keeps going higher and then connects to the beam. Whereas this one, it seems just big enough for whatever this is going to be. Okay, so what if I leave it like that? And there. Okay, that actually looks okay, because this column width kind of matches with the overall columns, or the, what shall we call it, the frame of the window, the upper frame. But if I try and do that, I'll probably need a little bit of plate there, just so it doesn't detract from it, or use detail in this fashion. I think I'll go with this because it keeps it small, or doesn't make it too cumbersome like being a helmet. And I'll probably need, let's see, how does this look? I think I'll have to go with the flat, the flat plate in order for it to be kind of finished. Or what can I use? So in this case, the use of detail bricks was, don't overdo it for this example, and just enough to kind of make it convincing that it can work. Let's see. I just passed the 30-minute mark. I think I see flat bricks. I'm sorry, flat plates. And in this case, it might be better for the fenestrations to be further apart so that there's some breathing room between this peak and the next one. Otherwise, it's one bigger piece, and rather than a delicate frame around a fenestration. And let me see if I can find a reverse angle bridge to show what I mean. So now we have that there, and it's going to be just continuous. Which, okay, it can happen, but then, you know, if the idea was to make this look delicate, then it should be a little bit by itself and not touching. Otherwise, it's one continuous bigger piece. Okay, let me see, is there anything else? Oh yeah, so for those who are concerned with if this is a castle, how is it that, you know, they can go easily through the fenestration? They live in a perfect environment with no need to worry about weather or critters coming through. But, you know, there you can have it this way. Almost. To kind of mask it. Well, maybe the other way. So, yeah. If you have maybe not exactly these kind of panels, but larger ones where it can be the entire fenestration, and if this was the exterior, and all you need to be concerned about was the exterior of the build, like it was a shell, then you can have this here to be more of a surface, of a barrier between the inside and outside. Well, that's just one thought, and then you can design fenestrations around whatever panels you have so that you don't have this seam right there, unless you like that kind of stuff, because then you can have, I don't know if they make panels a row high stackable. I've seen some where it just ends, it doesn't have this part, but if they do make those panels, then you can just stack them on high, and then it looks like there is something there and it's just not air. Especially you use the clear ones. This one I use blue so that it can be a little bit visible and a clear idea that there's a barrier between inside and outside. So I think for the next episode concerning this idea of a sketch, I'll be looking at color. I'll be replacing bricks to see what color options look good together. I might decide which one to go with them, or just play with each of these ideas, because I'm pretty sure I don't have this shape in all colors, or a majority of them. So I'll probably be selecting which ones to use for which detail work. And this one, yeah, I'll probably finish it just so that it looks complete. And then I know I just wanted to say, should I space them out or just keep them like that? Let me see, just to look at it. Oh, yeah. Because even with the top of the frame touching each other, I got the wrong one, having the thin columns so close together, it makes the overall design, you know, intense. You know, all of a sudden you have more going on per area. And if I was attempting to go more simple, but that didn't happen if I keep them so close together. So what I might do is build this in, make this a wall, and so that you only have two windows here, and just space them out and see how that looks. Because it does look fine, but you know, my intent was to make it more simple. Okay, so that'll be it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.